Hello everyone, and come back to our today's new tutorial topic. So today I'm explaining for this a new topic for defined for PHP programming language. Okay, so in this session I'm just try for a perfectly overview of the course is a structure as object of PHP programming language. Okay, so it's the most important and easy to learn this project and this topic. So in this PHP programming language is the most lightweight programming language. Okay, so now I'm starting for the overview of the course structure and object. Okay, so first of all I'm just going here and firstly I'll define this is a course structure and the session for this course. First I'm here the introduction to PHP part of overview of PHP in installation and set up basic syntax and PHP and HTML integration. Okay, and this topic for here PHP basically is created for in this course structure for variable and the types constant aperture control structure if switch and loads for while and will. Okay, and this topic here I'm create is this project and site for function in PHP. Okay, so this means a function in PHP inside I'm created for defining and controlling the structure function parameter and return value and defined for variable scope and global variable and built-in functions. Okay, next topic here I'm just working with the prompts. Okay, use perfectly get and post method from validation handling from data. And next topic for here declared for is PHP and MySQL integration. So first time in this topic inside I'm fine for introduction to the database and connecting to MySQL database and also for pivot is meant as security. Okay, and most important for here advanced PHP techniques. Okay. So here create for file handling and session management for error handling and exception handling. Okay, and topic here I'm also good for explain for object-oriented programming using for this PHP language. Suppose like for classes and object constructor and destructor, inheritance, access modifier for interface and abstract classes. Okay, I hope you already understand for this course is totally attractive for. So next year I'm also define for PHP framework for introduction this and its next and then MVC architecture building a simple application. And here I'm using this project development for planning and designing your applications, implementation of learned concept. Okay, and now I'm going for the main object inside. Okay, so in this project for course object, the first is the foundation in PHP syntax and programming concept of for understanding and write for basic PHP script, then utilize for variable operators and control structure effectively. Okay, and then its most important topic for web development is code. So you know what for here's an intricate for PHP with HTML to create for here's a dynamic web page. Okay, and handle from data securely using this PHP. And this topic for here's a database interaction. So you can see I'm previously already explained for here in this session I'm connect and interact with multiple database and perform for here's Crud operations and issue data integrated. There are pivot statements and also for advanced PHP capabilities for manage a file session and cookies simply and implement for error handling and debugging techniques. Okay, and lastly here I'm also create for is object to enter programming like developer most application using for OPP principle in PHP and also for understand and implement for classes, object inheritance and interface. And here I'm trying for it's perfectly just knowledge for framework, get to introduction, introduce to popular PHP framework like Laravel of Simply, and understand for MVS architecture and apply it in project development. Okay, so here the station completely done, and here this is all structure for PHP course. So I hope you perfectly understand and create for your advanced level PHP programming journey. Okay, so I hope you try for perfectly and more practice it complete to create is a new or junior for PHP developers. Okay, so I hope you understand this topic. So
hello
thank you
again,
for watching.
and
we come back to today's another programming topic. So today here I'm explaining and setting up the learning environment in PHP programming language. Okay, so now let's get started. So first of all, here I'm setting up for the all learning environment and perfectly used for the PHP program. Okay, so here is the next step for. Just different. This is simply just going and here. First is install a local server and environment for the XAMPP. So you use for his use for the various elements. So first is Windows for the Mac OS user and the Linux. Okay, so choose for his Windows version. So now first of all, here's a download and install for the XAMPP from the Apache friends and or .org. Okay, and now just start for the Apache MySQL service from the XAMPP control panel. Okay, so just first of all install process just step by step different. So first of all, I'm open for this Chrome browser, and in this insert I'm just type for here. This is simple Apache friends.org. Okay, just open it. You can see here is the perfect open for XAMPP Apache. So you can see here the perfectly open. You see here is a three options. The first is a XAMPP for Windows and XAMPP for Linux and XAMPP for OS X. Okay, so I hope you understand. And here is in this XAMPP for new release for this for 8.2.12. Okay, so here's the complexity. So now you choose for here's a A1. So choose for here's a Windows. So this XAMPP I'm already installed for my computer. So I'm not now installed here. So you choose is perfectly installed at this. So just press for in this XAMPP for this Apache. So you just start for this. So here is a sure already installed this. Now choose for this Windows. So now just wait here and starting for this XAMPP. You can see. So here's the completed this starting. So just cause. So it's because this XAMPP I'm already installed for my computer. Okay. So just open going this here, and now just your computer is perfectly open for this Apache, and you start this Apache and MySQL service from the XAMPP control panel. So you can see here I'm just the search bar I'm just create, and you can see here already installed for XAMPP by computer. Okay, so I'm just not now. Next topic here is installed. This is a text editor integrated development environment for IDE. Okay, so you can see the first I'm noticed that here Visual Studio Code or VS Code. You can see. So first of all, just download for this and download and install VS Code from code.visualstudio.com. Just I'm going for again this browser, and just open, and here I'm simply just type for now. Just again take, as you can see here is a code.visualstudio.com. So just again going. So simply here I'm just type this is a code.visualstudio.com. Okay, you can see. So now just open in this. You can see is a perfect open for this the VS Code. So you can see here's a more option for is simply just going for here, and then just type for his download for this code. You can see here is this false link, and you're going for here is just now here, and is open for publicly. This Google is used for the false link for download this code, and this is a Mac Linux Windows. Just wait for and that's inside, and just double click and wait for here's a few seconds, and then you can see is to choose for more options and first is Windows, then Mac. Okay, so now I'm choose for here is Windows just installed because here is in this base code already installed for my computer, and now just not right. Just you for step is click for this. So just double press this base code for Windows version, and you can see here is a pin for this downloading for these Windows. You can see here this is my option for here is a C for this step, and this is the download process. So now here I'm just press for this download, and now wait, and you can see here I'm just wait for the few seconds and it's completely download for this. Okay, so just direct download, or you can choose for direct download link, and here is a when just complete for your base code download, and it perfectly installed for this base code. Okay, so here is completely done, and here is a simply for your network for problems. Here is not sure for this notification. You're perfectly already installed. Okay, so just I'm going for next step, and you can see here just installed for this PHP extension for PHP in advance for the better coding experience. You choose for here is a Sublime text editor. Okay, so here in this session I'm also code create for Sublime text editor inside. So just now going for this process. So first of all I'm going for open this browser just app again, and here I'm open and then type for simply just Sublime text.com. Okay, so you can see just is a open for here is a few seconds. So you know just remove, and here just wait again for okay. So now just wait for again here, and you can see is a Sublime. So it's just open here, and you can see here is a text editor right now. So here you can see this is a Sublime, and here's a various for package for this Sublime. Just when you paste for this download for Windows is completely starting for this download process. Okay, so here's the auto. So here's a you can see here's a starting for this VS Code, and then Sublime. So just cross for both because in this two editor I'm already installed for my computer. Okay, so when you computer install perfectly this Visual Code or Sublime text editor, and you optionally use for this install PHP related plugin for syntax highlight from is a line team. So here's the use for simplest database. So you can choose for the database management tool for the PHP, MyAdmin, and Compound with the XAMPP and MFP, and export this lookup host. And now here use for the another for the MySQL workbench for download install for MySQL.com, and count your local MySQL server using the print programming. So and now at this topic for just set up for your web browser. So now just going for use a modern browser like Chrome, Google Chrome, or Firefox testing or PHP application and install developer. And now open for by Sublime text editor and simply create a simple program. Okay, so now just remove. Okay, so here I'm open for my Sublime code editor, and here I'm also open for this temp. Okay, so you can see here I'm open for this temp, and you can see for is a notice that here is open for already open for here is a Apache and MySQL is starting, and here is there's the two option screen sign. Okay, so here's done, and now next step here just create for simply for the PHP program. Okay, so now I'm create here, So here, first of all, I'm going and create this less than sign and then questions mark, and then here I'm creating the first extension is question sign and again. And in this insert, I'm just type for the message simply here. I'm just create this is the equal for the double question insert. I'm create for the message. So supposedly here, I'm just type for the hello or PHP. Okay, if you understand, you must use the semicolon. So now I'm select all this program and then press for and just copy for this file path. Okay, so now I'm open for my browser just again here. So it's just going for again here and then press for this and then just paste here. As you can see, just remove for this XAMPP and htdoc, and here I'm simply just type this is a local host. Okay, so if you understand and then press for the enter, you can see here perfectly see the result for hello PHP. Okay, so here's a perfectly complete for this environment process. So you can see here I'm inserted for the perfectly, and here I'm created and this project and show the result for the browser. Okay, so I hope you completely understand this session. So now just thank you for watching. Come back to today's most important topic. So today here I'm explain and install process is defined for step by step. So in this topic for here I'm explaining for installing PHP, Apache and MySQL using for the XAMPP. Okay, so I hope you perfectly understanding this topic. So just start it. So first of all, I'm using for the XAMPP. Okay, so XAMPP is a free and open source cross-platform web server solution tech package developed by Apache friends and consisting here is mainly of Apache for HTTP server for MariaDB database and interpreters for scripts written in PHP and PRL. Okay, so the step-by-step installation guide to XAMPP. So first of all, download process. So just go for here is open for this Chrome web browser. Enter search for this URL. So first of all, here just type this is Apache frames.org. This is our official XAMPP website. So just open. So here I'm just wait for, you can see here's a perfectly open for this Apache. Okay, so you can see here the Apache is the most powerful PHP development environment. Okay, so here is used for the three options for XAMPP for Windows, XAMPP for Linux, and XAMPP for OS X. Okay, so now I'm choose for is XAMPP for Windows version. Just use, you can choose for is another option. So I'm already for this XAMPP install for my computer. So I'm not now installed. So I'm just expand step by step is explain this Windows for is a setup. Okay, so you press for this XAMPP uses Windows versions, and now you also choose for this Windows FAQs. Okay, so here down for is the XAMPP install for your operating system perfectly. This Windows you can see just starting for throughout this XAMPP just cross because in this XAMPP is already installed in for my computer. So you can see just simply search for this XAMPP. You can see here the XAMPP. Okay, so just open for this XAMPP. So you can see here full structure for is a XAMPP control panel. Okay, so here I'm already for this XAMPP and this download here install this file. So first of all here you just select your commands for install. Default components are usually find Apache MySQL. You can see here C for this Apache MySQL MySQL and Tomcat. Okay, so you can see here here's shell then export services. Okay, here's once more. So you'll see here of course this I choose for the install directory usually for the local disk for XAMPP on Windows. Okay, so here is the next topic for the stir XAMPP. So open for here's now I'm open for my XAMPP console panel from my installation directory and start for first time start this Apache as it's perfectly installed, and next start for is MySQL service. By clicking here is a start button, and then so it perfectly working this Apache and MySQL. Okay, so here is completely open and just verify this installation. Okay, so now here is create for simply just create is a simple program, and now just I'm perfectly working this Apache. Okay, so here I'm just minimize and then open for my Sublime text editor. Okay, so just I'm going for here, and simply here I'm creating for is a PHP program. Okay, so now I'm verify for this installation is perfectly working. So this Apache is not open for, and this PHP program is not working and not show for the output for the browser. Okay, so first of all here I'm create for the simple example. So first of all here I'm use this structure for PHP, and this format here I'm simply use this echo, and here I'm just type for message for hello chorus. Okay, so you can see insert for the message, and now just select all. Okay, and save, and here I'm now just copy for this file path and open for my browser, and just I'm going for here and paste for this file. As you can see here is this is a C for the local disk and driver, and then jam, and then it's tdoc, and see those file locations. So just remove simply, and here I'm only insert this is a local host. Okay, so you can understand, and here I'm completely create this local host, the main.php this program, and here I'm just press for enter. As you can see here, see the result is perfectly printed. This is the hello coders. Okay, so I hope you understand, and here in the session is completely done, and here this topic I'm perfectly verify this installation. This process is completely done, and here access for this local host for MySQL database. Okay, so here's perfectly open for this case and indicating that Apache is running. Okay, so here's it completely done for this topic, and here I'm perfectly explained for a step by step for the installation process. So I hope you're perfectly understanding this topic. So just thank you for watching and happy coding. Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's PHP programming journey. So today here I'm explaining for is understanding for PHP tags and basic syntax. Okay, so PHP is a popular scripting language specifically for suited for web development. So today here I'm cover the basic of PHP tag and syntax through this example. So first of all, I'm explain for the PHP tag. So PHP code is executed on the server and embedded with for HTML, or to begin with the PHP code, you need to PHP tags, and these are three main types of tags. You can use a standard, short, and ASP style tag, and however is the most commonly used and recommended for the standard tag. Okay, you can see here I'm create two work posts is index and HTML, and next here I'm create for the main.php. Okay, so I'll just open the main.php, and here I'm create the standard PHP tag. Okay, so first of all here I'm use open for the PHP code with or this less than sign, and here I'll use this question mark, and the type here is here's a PHP. It's a PHP, and again use enterprise with that. Okay, this is a structure, and then in this insert also first of all use this PHP, and it calls it with this question mark and and insert for this tag used for the now just start use this equal statement to print for is a hello world statement. Okay, so it's just type for is it, you can see simply here I'm just type this hello world. Okay, so if you understand, and here use the semicolon. You can see here use for this, and just paying for the console for the web browser, just save that, and here first of all right side press and copy for this file path. Okay, so here is a open for my Apache. So the public open, you can see here is the framework for Apache and MySQL. Okay, so now I minimize and it open for my browser perfectly, and here I'm press for this URL. Okay, and you can see real for this gem and skdoc, and here I'm used for this is the localhost and press for the enter. You can see here's a perfectly see the result for the help board. Okay, so I completely understand he's completely see the output for in the browser. Okay, so it's done, and now here I'm used for the next example. So here create is basic syntax. Okay, so here I'm used for the basic syntax of PHP, and PHP is structured with the and with semicolon, and you can use the PHP handle of the variable perform operation and much more. Okay, so now I'm defining use for the variable here. So first of all, I'm just going for add remove this equal false. Okay, so just remove here create this at the rate. Sorry, is a $, then create is here simply is a creating. Okay, and is equal to print for the message for. So here I'm just type is hello. Okay, and must be used the semicolon, and here I'm inserted again this $, and insert for here the name is Alice. Okay, and now here I'm use this equal and print for, so it's not now. So now I'm just simply remove this. So I'm going for here and perfectly just use this equal and this insert. So again this. So now just simply only use for this equal. Okay, you can see use this is not perfect. So now first of all here I'm creating at the rate where is creating. Okay, use for the dot. And in this insert, I'm creating the insert for the comma, and it goes for the dot notation and define this name, and again create this notation, and in this side create the sign. Okay, you can see here perfectly use the here I'm used for the variable and a person. So variable is creating and name, and then used for the equal statement, the combat message using for the concatenation operator. Okay, so now here I'm save, and then open the for again browser, just reload. And now as you can see here, there's a perfectly print for the whole Alice. Okay, so I understand, and now here I'm explaining for another example. So here I'm used for the loops. So just talk about the loops are used to execute a block of code multiple times, and please support for several types of loops. Okay, so first of all I'm going for in this insert and remove for this code. Okay, so simply remove, and first of all here in this insert I'm defining this is a for loop, and then must be used for the $, and I is equal to 1. Okay, and now here I'm used for again and initialize for is less than equal to 5. Okay, and then use for again this $, and I variable is a increment. Okay, and now create this curly bracket. So in this insert it use this equal, and insert simply now here insert this number, and here use for dot notations for, and here I'm used for this is a I variable again used for the dot. Now here I'm used for this is a beta tag for the publicly used auto is generated for the new line. As you can see, here's a defined for initial variable for item 1, and the loop runs as long as I less than equal to 5, and then iteration prints for this a value for I and incremented by 1. Okay, so it's done. Now just here is simply save, and then the save and open for this browser just again, and here I'm just reload now. As you can see here, see the result for number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so here the station completely done, and here I'm copying the introduction to PHP tags and syntax. Okay, So I hope understanding this session. So now just
Cool,
thank you for
Jian,
watching.
and welcome back to our today's PHP programming journey. So today here I'm creating for the topic of embedding for PHP in HTML. So PHP is a server-side descriptive language used for extensively for web development. So to the explore for how to seamlessly embed PHP code within the HTML to create a more dynamic web page. Okay. So first of all, here I'm simply explaining for the basic PHP in HTML. Okay. So how we can embed it for PHP in HTML documents. So PHP code can be inserted directly into the HTML file. Please allow for dynamic content generation. Okay. So first of all, here I'm simply creating for the PHP in HTML. So now here I'm creating for the HTML code structure, and here I'm inserting for the title PHP with HTML. Okay. And now I'm use PHP in use to print for the hello world. Okay. First of all, I'm going for in this body tag inside, and here I'm use this is the H1 for this is the heading, and starting and then closing for this H1. Okay. So it's already create here, and now in this insert I'm create for here is a PHP tag. Okay. So if you understand, and here create completely. Okay. So it's not correct, is a question mark, and then again, and here is complete. Okay. So in this insert I'm create for simply inserted this is echo for is for double quotation, and in this insert I'm just type for the message for hello world. Okay. So just type for perfectly this is a hello world. Okay. So if you understand, here in this hello world inside h1 tag to the PHP, and this PHP tags enclose the Python code. Now just save this code and let's see in this output. Okay. So first of all, I'm saving this code and then copy this file path. So I'm open for my browser, and then here I'm simply paste for this code, and just change for here. You can see here the htdoc, and just remove, and here I'm perfectly inserted. This is a local post. Okay. So now press for enter. So just wait here. So you can see here is a complete this. Now this is just start for Apache, and second is start for this MySQL. This is step is now important. So here I'm just again select all and save this code, and just open this browser, and here is a simply just open this here is called for the embedded PHP program. Okay. So here you can see it just define this now. Okay. As the next topic here, I'm creating for another embedded PHP program. So here I'm used for the PHP with variable in HTML. So let's use for the PHP variable within our HTML, make the content for dynamically. So just going for in this insert, and first of all here remove this h1 heading, and in this insert perfectly just a type. So here I'm using this is a PHP structure. Okay. And then in this insert, so now just going for here, and first of all here I'm just type this is a greeting message. Okay. Just type is a greeting and is equal to, so I'm insert for the message, suppose like for this is a hello world. Okay. And here I'm used for this is a semicolon. Okay. And instead here I'm insert again this dollar sign, and insert it for here is use this is a double quotation insert. I'm defined for this is Alice. Okay. You can see here perfectly created, and now I'm used for another. Here I'm insert this is a paragraph tag. Okay. So this insert I'm create for is starting and closing this tag. Okay. So you can see it's perfectly created now, and this insert I'm again used for here is a PHP code structure. Can see is perfectly inserted, and this insert simply use this echo and create here this greeting message as used for dot notation. Okay. And here I'm used for this is a double quotation inside create this comma, and now I'm again use for here is a dot notation, and get for here is a dollar sign define this is a name, okay, and now I'm again use for this dot notation and create here is a double quotation insert define for the sign, okay. So here simply create for my program, and here I'm used for this is a PHP variable for creating and to name, then embedded this variable within a p tag used for the PHP, okay. So now just try perfectly run, and here select all, okay, just select all and save this code, and then open for my browser, and just relate now. As you can see, here is not show for because it's embedded for this PHP is perfect error free code, and here is completely working, okay. So here this topic is completely done, and here I'm perfectly explained for the embedded in PHP, okay. So I hope you completely understanding this station. So here I'm explaining for embedded PHP in HTML and cover for the integrated PHP code within HTML tag used for the variables, okay. So I hope you enjoy in the session. So thank you for watching, and happy coding. We come back to our today's PHP programming series. So today here I'm expert for variable and data type in PHP. So variable are essential for any programming language, and PHP is no exception. So today just cover the basic of variable and explore for different data types in PHP through this example. So now let's get started, okay. So and now I'm here I've defined for the introduction to variables. So variables in PHP are used to store data, and they can hold for different types of data. And a variable is PHP is stored with a dollar sign is followed by the variable name. So now let's look at the example. Okay, so first of all, here I'm defining and using for the variable. So just I'm going for in this insert, and here first of all type is a dollar sign, and then type is simply this is a message, okay. And you see code here I'm type is this is a message for this, and type for hello programmer, okay. So hello, you can see here I'm search for the hello programmer and going for, and here I'm used for the output function. Just starting here is echo, I'll simply just open for this dollar sign, and here is message. So this means here first of all I'm defining a variable called for here's a message, and assigned in the value for hello programmer, and then use for this echo statement to display for the value of a message in the output, okay. So here is a done. So now just select all and save this code, and just open my browser and just reload now. So just wait here. So so first of all save, and then copy this file path, and so just copy this file path and open for this browser, and here just remove this and paste for here, and simply just I'm going for this is the post here removed for HTML exam xt dot, and here I'm perfectly inserted this is a local post. So I understand, and here this is a perfect output for hello programmer, okay. So I hope you completely understand, okay. So next topic here I'm different for another example. So here create for is a data type in PHP, okay. So PHP support for here the several data types including string, integer, float, and booleans, array, objects, and more. And just focus on the most common ones for things string, integer, and boolean, okay. So first of all I'm going for this PHP inside and remove this of code, okay. So here first of all apply this string data type. So first of all here I'm use for this dollar sign and create for this is a message. The variable is creating, and here I'm just type for the message supposed like inserted for hello Alice, okay. You can see I'm insisting is perfectly inserted here, and Now I'm inserted for the integer type data. So here I'm inserted for this is age is equal to 30. Okay, and now I'm inserted the boolean type data. So use for $, and get for is underscore student. Okay, and is equal insert this is L2. Okay, so if you understand perfectly, and now here I'm used for this output functions. Just type for this echo and just going here and create simply the $, and call for this greeting message and use for dot notation, and must be used for here simply create, and now this is be a tag. Okay, so you can understand, and now create this semicolon and again use for this echo. Okay, and you can see, and it's now here inserted this double quotation inside find for this age, and now here again use for this dot notations and apply this is the age and dot, and again use this. So just inserted here is completely this be a tag. Okay, and lastly again use for is a boolean type data to use for this echo, and create this double quotation, and here type is student. Okay, you can see here I'm inserted for is a student, and it's not now. So simply create for a student, and here I'm use simply this clone, and now apply this dot notation, and here create this parenthesis, and in this insert use for this is a $, and create for each student this boolean type data, and then here use this questions mark, and here use this message for yes, and another message for here is inserted is boolean is a no for false, and is for true. Okay, use for again this dot notation, and in this insert define this is simply be a tag. Okay, so here in this program false is defined. Here is a 3 variable we defined data types is a string, is creating an integer. This is the age, and the boolean for is a student, and then use perfectly this statement to display for their value, and now this output will be for the web browsers. So just select all and save this code and open my browser, just go again, and here now reload this page, and as you can see here the result is perfectly printed for this is the output for hello Alice is ages 30 and the student for yes. Okay, so here this show for how to PHP can handle for different data types of data and how to display them. Okay, so here is this is completely done, and here I'm perfectly used for the variable and data types. Okay, so I will completely understanding in the session. So now just thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our PHP programming series. So today I'm going to learn for more about arithmetic comparison and logical operators in PHP. Okay, so these operators are fundamental for performing calculation, comparison, and the logical operators in your code. So just I'm going to draw 3 perfect example, and I hope you perfectly understand for how these operators work. Okay, so now let's get started. Supposedly let's begin with the first example. I'm here using this arithmetic operators. Okay, so now let's get started. So in this insert, I'm insert for create for arithmetic operator. So already here I'm used for the $, for the variable is equal to 10. And secondly here I'm inserted, so you can see here I'm insert is a 100, and secondly here I'm insert is the variable b is up. Okay, so if you understand, and now here apply for this is another variable to use for $, and then type for is here sum is equal to is for the, and it is $, for variable of a, and again is for this $, for the variable of b. Okay, so if you understand, in here I'm simply just copy this code. Okay, and this is here I'm used for this is different, so use for $, and then type for here is a difference is equal to, and now so for this code, and here is for this sign, and next to here I'm kind of and let's define this as a product. So you can see here I'm define through a state, and then press for again, and here I'm just use for this product, and now here I'm apply for the multiplication to the sign. It's called arithmetic operator. Here's both for coordinates and reminders. I'm just use for 3 variables. Now here I'm using this is equal, and this insert for this is a sum, okay? And now here define this is a dollar sign. Just apply this is a sum variable, and is for again this dot, and here is must be used. This is perfectly new line, okay? So I have completely understand, and here I'm just again copy this code and paste for here is a 3 line, okay? So here remove this and insert. First of all, this is a difference, and again just choose for here is simply this difference, and here I'm use this product for multiplication sign. So this is a product, and then again change this product, okay? So you can see here's a perfectly inserted, okay? So here in this example is completely done, and here I'm used for the arithmetic operator to perform for the basic mathematical operations. It can to a variable for a and b and calculate for the sum difference and product, okay? So here now just save and select all and save this code, and let me run this code. So first of all, I'm copy this a file and open for my browser, and paste for here and change for this gem next to dot, and here I mean so this is a perfectly local host, okay? So if you understand, then press for enter. So you can see here is this dollar sign, okay? So I'm just fine, okay? So you can see here final semicolon is must be used. So just save and again for to load now. As you can see here, the see the result sum is 50, 150, difference 15, and product is 5,000. Okay, if you understand perfectly, okay? So it's completely done the arithmetic operator. Next, explain this is a comparison operator. So you can see I'm going for again here and change for this is x and variable. Well, first of all, insert for 10, and here I'm insert for this is 30, okay? And now here I'm used for this operator. So first of all, I'm create for dollar sign, inserted for this is equal, okay? You can see is equal, and now first of all I'm create here. So first of all I'm create this parenthesis starting and closing for this parenthesis, and in this insert I'm change for the variable. So first I will define for x and is equal to inserted for the y, okay? So I have understand, and I'm just copy in this line of code, okay? And next step here I'm create for is not equal, okay? So if you understand, and here I'm inserted perfectly, this is not equal, and then remove this, and here I'm perfectly inserted, okay? So as I insert say not equal, and now here I'm also not also greater for is greater than. So just I'm going for here, and then create is the suppose like is greater than, and change for again, and here paste for this code, and then change for this sign. So x is greater than y, and here I'm just paste for just copy this code and paste for here next line, and insert for here is for less than, okay? So understand, and here I'm completely use this less than and change for this sign, okay? So here's completely done. Now I'm going for this insert, and first of all I'm create here is equal, okay? You can see inserted for is equal, and then here I'm used for there's a dot notation, so simply just remove here, okay? And first of all I'm create this parenthesis, and in this insert I'm insert this dollar sign, and then type for here's equal, and then use this quotation mark as a single quotation insert. Define this is a value is 2, okay? Add clone, and here I'm again use insert for another condition is a false, okay? this is not correct, this is a false. Okay, so if you understand, it's perfectly done. And then here I'm just in this line I'm just copy, okay, and paste for here is next line. So just change. So here I'm used for is not equal. Okay, so just define this is not equal, and here I'm already was changed for here, and I'm inserted this is not equal, and is for the 2, this condition false. Okay, so here I'm just going, this is the next line, and here paste for this code again. Okay, then here insert for greater than, so just remove for is equal, and here I'm inserted this is greater than, and then going for again here I'll simply change, and here I'm inserted this it's for greater than. So if you understand perfectly, and here is going no, and in this line I'm just again copy and paste for. Okay, so just paste for here is a next up line of code, and then here I'm inserted this is a less than. Okay, if you understand perfectly, is a comparison operator. Okay, so just again, and here I'm change else less than. Okay, if you understand perfectly, and here is completely done, is this is called comparison operator. Okay, so now it's perfectly done, and here means select all as if this code, and just again going for my browser and just reload now. So as you can see here, there's the result. Suppose is first is print this is equal is a false, is not equal, this condition is true, and secondly here is for then this condition is false, and less than is condition is true. Okay, is called the comparison operator. Okay, so next step here I'm define and create the logical operator. Okay, so just I'm going for here and create is a logical operator, and so start going for remove this a and another variable of b. Okay, so here I'm create the condition false time use this is a through this session, and here inserted this is a false value print. Okay, so first of all I'm going for here, and I'm used for this equal just remove, and here I'm inserted for and result. Okay, so you can see here I'm insert for and result, and going for this insert, and first of all here I'm use the variable of a, and use for complete the and operator, and insert for the variable of b. Okay, so I understand, and then here I'm just copy this line and paste for here's a next 2 line. Okay, so just again paste, and here's a 4th line just remove now. Okay, so if you understand perfectly, add change for here, so first time use for the and result, and now insert this or result. Okay, so now here inserted here is the or sign, and then lastly here I'm create this is not for a. Okay, define this is not a, and then simply I'm just going for here. Okay, so you can see just remove this, and here is this not operator. Okay, if you understand perfectly, and then going for here, and first of all I'm used for and result. Okay, so for example just type for and result is equal to, so first of all here I'm used for this is the end of result is true and false at this condition, and here in this line I'm just copy here. Okay, and paste for here is so just paste for here again, and then again. Okay, so now here I'm use all result, and just I'm just change for and operator and set for the all result, and just I'm going for remove this, and the result here I'm inserted this is the all result, and lastly here I'm used for the not for a. Okay, so simply here I'm defined for not a, and then again going for here and inserted this is a not of a. Okay, so I hope you completely understand this example, and here I'm completely create is a logical operator to perform the logical operations on 2 booleans variable for a and b, and calculate the result a logical and the logical not operations. Okay, so here's completely done, and now just save this code and going for this browser, just can't open, and here I'm just reload this page, and as you can see the result. Also the result is false, and all the result is true, and the third for is not for is a false. Okay, this is the output. So you can see the logical operation allow us to perform the logical operations and return boolean result. Okay, so I have a complete instance, and here the session completely done, and here I'm perfectly cover the basic of arithmetic conversion and logical operator in PHP. Okay, so I hope you completely understand this session. So just thank you for watching and happy coding.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's the tutorial topic. So today here I'm explain for the PHP programming series, and here I'm explain and learn about for expression and operator precedence in PHP. Okay, so I hope you completely understanding for the operator precedence in essential for writing PHP and correct code. So now let's begin with the example is demonstrating for you perfectly for basic clear for expression and how to operate precedence affect their evolution. Okay, so first of all I'm creating here the basic expression and operator precedence. Okay, so first of all I'm used for the example of, so here I'm created for the variable. So first of all use for the $, and then type for the result is equal to, so create for the expression for p and plus for operator for 5 and multiplications for 2. Okay, and so here I'm display for the result is for this equal, and this insert I'm inserted the variable name of a result and create this clone, and now I'm used for this dot, and here simply call for here this is a result, and again use this dot, and publicly here I'm used this is a new line. Okay, so if you understand here this example, the simple expression for this expression for, and according to here this operator precedence rule, okay, is a multiplication has a higher precedence than addition, so the multiplication is performed this first. Okay, so when you just run this code and see the perfect result, so here I'm save this code, and just I'm open for my browser and just I'm reload, and I'll say you can see the result is 20. Okay, so I hope I completely understand. Okay, so next example define is using the for the parenthesis to change precedence. Okay, so just I'm simply going for here and create a parenthesis for 10 and additional operator for 5, and create for the parenthesis insert and define, and here this parenthesis to change the order of a person and the expression for this, and force the addition to be related for post, and when they run this code and see the perfect output. Okay, see here now I'm just again save in this code and just going for this browser and just upload. Now so as you can see here there is this 30 publicly update in this result. Okay, so now here, and next example here I'm creating this is a comparison operator. Okay, so just I'm going for again here and create this so just remove this multiplication sign, and here's for this greater than, and here I'm used for this parenthesis, and this insert I'm defined, so first I'm defined this is a value of 2, and then multiplication sign for 3. Okay, and now display for the results, so just I'm going for here, and in this incident inside I'm create this parenthesis, and here I'm used for this is a question mark, or in this first I'm define this expression the condition is true, and use this clone, and again here I'm inserted this the false values painted. So if you completely understand, then here I'm just use for the compare the result of expression with 14 additional operator for 5 with the result of the expression 14, and then multiplication sign 40 using for the greater than operator. Okay, so now it's perfectly done, and here I'm save this code program and open for this browser again. I'm just reload, and as you can see here, so there is completely error. So now just take for again you can see use for this is 10 less than equal than the result. Okay, so it's perfectly done,
about all this problem. So okay, so now just again for save, and then going in this browser, and here it is get clone. Now just again realize you can see the same for this error. So now just again verify this example. Okay, so now here just right side press and again copy this file path and open from my browser and paste for here, and then change for this XAMPP and instdoc, and here I'm inserted. This is a perfectly just a type. This is a completely slow color post. Okay, so now I'm just press for enter. So as you can see here, the result is true. Okay, so I hope you completely understand. Okay, so next topic here I'm explaining for you. This is your logical operators. Okay, so if you understand here, I'm change this and use for this greater than sign, and now insert for here is add operator, and create for simply just here is an insert for the variable of 3 is less than up to. Okay, so if you understand, and then going for again here and the same as it is now, and here I'm use the logical AND operator to combine for 2 expression, and then just again save this code and just let me run this code. So just open from my browser and just reload now. So as you can see here, see the result. Okay, so I completely understand. So the session is done, and here I'm perfectly covered the expression and operator precedence in PHP. Okay, so I hope you completely understanding this session. So just thank you for watching and happy coding. Hello everyone, and come back to our today's and the tutorial topic. So today here I'm explaining for here's a conditional statement in PHP. Okay, so here I'm exploring the fundamental concepts of conditional logic in PHP, including like if, else, and switch statement. Okay, so first of all, here I'm explanation of if statement. Okay, let's start with the if statement, and this statement allows us to execute a block of code if we specify the condition is true. Okay, so I was just going for here and define for the variable name is defined as the age is equal to 25. Okay, and now here I'm used for this condition in condition, and in this inside I'm declare for the age and less than for 18. Okay, and now here I'm use this output message. Just I'm inserted create. So just I'm type for here. So suppose you are a minor. Okay, so if you understand here, I'm completely create this code. This means for in this code I'm create for here simply variable called for this age to set for the 25, and if else statement take and age is less than 18 since it's 25 is not less than 18, and the code inside the blockup does not execute. So just I'm verify this code, and simply here I'm save this program, and then I open this browser and just reload now. So as you can see, just right here is so now is complete. So here I'm just use again perfectly save in this code, and then open this browser and just reload. Now here same for this. I'm going for again. So first of all, I'm define for the age, and then equal just insert it. So first of all, here I'm again save in this code and just copy this file path and open in this browser. Just remove for and press for the URL. And simply here I'm use this is a local host, press for the enter. So here is the same for this. Here's maybe it's a problem. So now define for again, so you can see, and then use for the equal and save, then pen again. Okay, you can see here this error syntax for this. Okay, so now not this use, and here is just save, and then again open this browser and just reload. Now as you can see, the same is as it is not true. Okay, now here I'm type for is a increase for the new output. So next step here I'm create for the if else statement. This statement allows to execute for one block of code. So first of all, I'm going for here and then create for the other code. Just create. So here I'm use this is a else condition statement. This insert I'm just type for here is a echo, and create for the other message. So first of all, I'm type for you are an adult, if you understand, and here I'm create, and now here I'm save in this code, and then again this browser as I'm reload, you can see here's a print for the message for you are an adult, because in this output where I'm defined is age is 25 less than for 18, the code inside the block execute perfectly and print for the message for you are an adult. Okay, so I understand. Okay, so next step here I'm used for the if else if statement. Okay, here I'm here's simply new code. So just I'm going for here and remove this code. First of all, here I'm create for the other variable none. Suppose here is a grade is equal to, inside I'm defined for the grade of a b. Next to be here I'm use this if statement and get for the condition. So is a grade equal to double quote inside I'm defined for the grade of a. Okay, now here I'm use this equal and print for the message. So grade for student is performance for excellent. Okay, you can see perfectly I'm inserted for the message for excellent. Okay, and now here I'm used for the another condition. So just I'm type for the else. In this insert I'm again declare for the this grade equal to and declare for the grade of b. Okay, and now here I'm create for another output message. So just I'm create here the message is good job. Okay, if you understand, and here I'm performance of good job. Okay, and now here I'm insert for the another statement. Just I'm create for the else loosely defined, and here I'm use this is equal and print for the message. So just I'm type for here is a if working hard. Okay, so if you understand completely, and here I'm publicly use the variable of grade a to b, and else statement take if grade a and b are neither, and since the grade is b is execute the code inside the else if a block printing for here is a code job. Okay, so that's just to verify the example. First of all, I'm select in this code, and then open this browser and just reload. As you can see here, see the result. This is a good job. This is the output in this code. Okay, so here is it done for this 3 step, and now here I'm explaining for a switch statement. So switch statement is useful when you have a multiple condition to evaluate. Okay, so now I'm going for again here and simply just remove in this all of code. And first of all, here I'm defined for the variable name of day is equal to insert for the day is Monday. Okay, so if you understand perfectly, and here I'm use this is a switch statement. So first of all, I'm declare for the variable name of day. Okay, and case and insert for the first value. So just I'm going for here and hit for the value I'm defined here is the Monday, and hit for the message. Suppose just I'm type for here simply use this equal and print for the message for start of the week. Okay, start of the week. Okay, so if you understand this, and now use this break statement, and here just copy in this code and paste for here is next of line, and now change for the day. Here I'm inserted this is for day, and now I'm used for the capital letter, and again used for here is a capital letter. Okay, if you see the Friday, and then here I'm changed for this message here just simply use for is a T Z I F. Okay, is simply just use, and then here I'm create for the break the statement, and here I'm used for the default constructor. So simply remove, and first of all here I'm insert this is equal and print for another message. So just I'm type for here enjoy your day. Okay, So if you completely understand, and here I'm simply done for this switch statement. So in this switch statement, take the value of day. So if the day is Monday and execute the code inside first case block as printing here publicly start of the day is not working, and here is the code entering utilities. Okay, just to verify this example. So here I'm saved in this code and then going from this browser and just reload it now. Okay, so as you can see the result for start of the week, okay, is correct. So here's a fit for the expected output. So conclude our tutorial on conditional statement PHP, and here completely covered for if else and switch statement. These are essential controlling the flow of a PHP code and based on various conditions. Okay, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more programming tutorial. Okay,
hello again, come back to our PHP programming journey. So today here I'm explaining for the world of loops. Loops are fundamental structure in programming that allow us to execute a block of code is multiple times. Okay, so in this section I'll define for the main types of loop: for loop, while loop, do while loop, and for each loop. Okay, so first of all here I'm declaring for the for loop. Okay, so for loop is a perfect when you know in advance how many times you need to execute a statement or a block of the statement. Okay, so first of all I'm going for this PHP code inside. So here I'm just type this for, and first of all here I'm declare for initialize for I is 1, and then here I'm define or simply just declare for I variable is less than equal to k. And now here I'm create this is simpler, and I'm define for this is the I variable for each increment. Okay, so if you understand in here I'm just going this next steps is just I'm work again, and sure I'll be remove this extra code, and in this inside I'm use for the this is the echo. And first of all here I'm just type the print message. Suppose I'm type for, suppose here the number is equal clone, and first of all here I'm insert for the $sign and declare this is a I variable, and here I'm completely use this be a tag because it's created for the new. Okay, so this is my first time initialized for here the variable I is equal to 1, and the loop is continue as long as I variable is less than or equal to 5. And after the iteration for this I variable is incremented by 1. So now let's see the output. So first of all I'm saving this code, and then just copy select file and just I'm open for my browser, and here I'm simply paste for this URL, and so just okay, so this is perfect, and we will for the gem antics dog, and here this is a local post. Okay, so if you understand, and this is paste by the enter. So as you can see the result for perfectly painted for this is the number 1 and number 2 and the number 3. So just zoom in for this output. Okay, it's much this one is perfect. Okay, so here's paint for the output number is 1 2 3 4 5 and 5. Okay, so if you perfectly understand, okay, so here's completed down the for loop. So next topic here I'm create the while loop. While loop is a repeat a block of code as long as the specified condition is true. So first of all, remove for this code, and here I'm define for loop example. So I variable is equal to 1. Okay, and now here apply this is a while loop, and first I'm create the condition so define for the variable I is equal to 5, and then in this insert I'm create for this is equal. And first of all here I type the number. Okay, so the number is again and use for define this I variable, and also here I declare this is a be a tag. Okay, so if you understand, and now here I create this is this I variable is increment. Okay, So this means in while loop, first time initialize I use 1. So I'm inserted variable with 8 inserted. So the loop is continuous as long as both I is less than or equal to 5, okay? And within the loop is incremented by a 1 and after its iterations, okay? So now just I'm saving this code and the output identical for the for loops in this example, okay? So now I'm just again open this browser and just reload now, okay? So now reload, you can see the result number is 1 to 8, okay? This is called for the while loop, okay? And next topic here, I'm declare for the do while loop. So do while loop is similar to while loop, but it ensures that the code block is executed at least once for the condition is tested. So for example, I'm just going for here and simply remove this, okay? So now just copy for this code and here I apply for the do while loop, okay? So in this inside, store this as it is now, and then here just paste for this while loop, and here use for this 10, okay? So if you understand completely, and here use in first initialize this is a I variable to 1, and the loop executes the block of code before taking a if I is less than equal to 5, and after iteration for I is incremented by 1. So now just let's see how the output. So simply I'm create for here and then hit semicolon. And so now I'm saving this code and then again open for my browser. So just I'm reload now. So as you can see here, there is a perfectly print for it's called the while loop. So one loop is print for the variable is value for 1 to 10, okay? So this is the all output. So here I'm perfectly declare and define this for example the topic, and now here I'm creating another topic is declare for the for each loop, okay? So in this for each loop is used to iterate over array is particularly useful when you need to work with its elements is an array, okay? So for example, I'm just going for here and simply remove for in all code, and here first of all I'm create now this type this is colors, okay, and is equal to here I'm inserted for the array, so this is not. So just type for the array, and in this insert I'm different for the sum of arrays, but first I'm create the color is red and another color I'm inserted here is a green, and then type for here is blue, and then here I'm used for the another color, suppose like is the yellow. So if you understand and perfectly use this color, and now you have used this for is first of all I'm declare for a variable of colors as the key value. So just remove this key and the value, and here I'm simply define this is a color, okay? See if you understand, and then in this insert I'm used to see equal and green for the message, just type for the color. So the color is and here I'm create the clone and then type completely here is the color, and then use it here this be a tag, okay? So here is completely done, and so now just in this code. So first of all here create an array called for the colors, and for each loop I trace over the each element in the colors for array, and for its element execute the code blocks and assign the current elements to the palette of the colors. So just completely done, and here I'm saving this code and then open this browser now. So just reload. So as you can see the result. So force the print and the color is red and color is green, blue and yellow, okay? So here is completely done. So is a quick overview of loops in PHP, and here are completely covered for the for loops, while loop, and for each loop. So I hope you completely understand what the different platforms can be used to make a code more efficient and easy to manage, okay? So I will enjoy in this session. So thank you for watching and happy coding.
Hello programmer, and welcome to our PHP programming journey. So today here I'm explaining and when you talk about for defining and calling a function in PHP. So functions are usable blocks of code that perform a specific task, and they help for make your code more organized and modular. Okay. So first of all, here I'm defining calling a simple function. So here I'm used for the simple function that brings a greeting message. So here how you define a call a function in PHP. So first I'm going for in PHP code format inside, and first I'm defining a simple function. So first of all, here I'm defining a function name is a grade, and then here I'm using this curly bracket. So simply use this echo and print for the message. So suppose for hello is so you can see welcome to our PHP program. Okay, you can see here I'm perfectly correct, and now I'm inserted here is a completely is a use beta tag. Okay, so if you understand perfectly, and here is a completely defined, and now in this function I said I'm calling the function. Simply here I'm define this grade function. Okay, so if you understand here first is using this function keyword is followed by the function name is grade, and inside here I'm curly bracket. Instead I'm writing a code that we want to execute when the function is called, and in this case the it paints for the here's a greeting message, and here calling function is simply use the function name followed by here is a parenthesis for grace. And now here I simply save in this program and open again this browser, and now just reload. Now so you can see here is see the message for hello, welcome to our PHP program. It's called simply defining for a function. Okay, and next step here create for defining a function with a parameter and returning value. Okay, so if you understand, it's an advanced example where we define a function that takes a parameter and return values, and this function will calculate the sum of two numbers. Okay, so first of all here I'm defining the function parameter and returning value. So here I'm simply remove this code, and first of all here I'm again use this function, and now here I'm use the function name is add, and here I'm calculate for the two variables. First I'm define the $sign for variable a, and again use the $sign of variable b. Okay, and now here I'm create the curly bracket. So here I'm define this is the variable, and the variable is the sum, and then here I'm use additional operator just inserted for here. Okay, and now use perfectly return statement for this is a sum variable. Okay, so if you understand completely, and now here I'm calling the function and exploring the result. Okay, so in this function outside, first of all define for the variable name suppose result and is equal to, so I'm used for this add function, and now I'm inserted for the values 55, and here is just I'm creative is 87. So it's done, and now here I'm used for the output function insert for in this echo and paid for the another message. Suppose like here I'm just type for the sum of 55 and 87 is and now here I'm called for is another variable. Suppose here I'm call in this result, and here I'm use completely in this beta text. Okay, so if you come to understand, first time explain in this code. First of all, undefined function name is the add that takes two parameters of first variable a and b, and inside the function I'm calculate the sum of variable a and the variable b and store it in the variable of sum, and return statement sends the values of sum back to where the function was called, and it's called the function with the argument for 55 and 7. It stores the result in the variable for the result in the printed. Okay, so here now I'm just save in this code, and then open again in this browser and just reload now. So as you can see here, the result for the sum of 55 and 87 is 142. Okay, so this is perfectly printed for the output. So there's a brief overview of defining and calling function ESP, and cover how to create a simple function that takes a parameter and return as values. Okay, functions are incredibly used for keeping your code. Okay, so thank you for watching and happy coding. Hello, and welcome to our PHP programming journey. So today I'm exploring for the function argument and return values in PHP. Okay, so function is a cornerstone of writing clean, reusable code and using for the argument and return values. So not just to make the functions and more dynamic and powerful. Okay, so first of all, here create a false example defined for the function with arguments. Okay, so here I'm just make the function that takes arguments, and arguments allow us to pass data into a function. Okay, so for example, first of all, here create simple is a function, and then here create the function name is create. Okay, and in this insert I'm define for is a declare the name. Okay, and now here I'm used for the curly bracket. So in this insert I'm just type for echo and create for the message. Suppose like I'm inserted for hello, and then declare is a name, and now here I'm just type this is welcome to our PHP project. Okay, you can see here is perfectly declare, and right here perfectly inserted in this insert create the beta tag. So here is define just calling the function with an argument. So first of all, here I'm declare for the grade, and in this insert I'm used for the name suppose Alice, and here I'm insert for another grade function use, and inserted for here is another name suppose like is Bob. Okay, so if you understand, simply define here is a function there's a grade that takes one argument for name, and you see the function just use the argument to print a personalized greeting message, and then call the function and the different arguments for Alice and Bob. Okay, so if you understand, now just save in this code and just open my browser and just reload now. So as you can see here, see the result. Also see the print for the hello Alice will come to our project, hello Bob will come to our project. Okay, so if you understand, it's called the simply undefined function with argument. Okay, and next topic here I'm create the multiple arguments. Okay, so I can see just change for here in this insert I'm create for just use for another name. So suppose like here I'm create is a function name calculate area. Okay, if you understand, and first I'm declare here is width, and also here I'm declare for another argument for height. Okay, and then here I'm create this equation. So first of all I'm call for create the $sign, and then create for variable name. So first of all I'm declare for is the width, and use the multiplication sign and define this is height. Okay, it's done, and now create for the equal message. So for example, just type for simplicities and create the area of the rectangle. So if your rectangle is, if you understand, as you know, I'm remove for in this code. Okay, and simply remove this name, and here I'm insert for the area, and also here I'm define this beta tag, and now calling this function with argument. So first of all remove this code and create here as a calculate area, and in this insert I'm insert for the argument. So first is 5 and 10, and again define this calculate area, and in this insert for value for first I'm declare 7, and second declare for 3. Okay, so if you completely understand and
first of all, here define a function is a calculate area, and that takes a two argument for width and height, and insert in this function calculate for in this area by multiplying the width and the height. I call the function with a different set of arguments for 5 and 10 and 7 and 3. Okay, so it's completely in this code, and create for the multiple functions with arguments. So just save in this program, and just run for in this browser. So just reload now. As you can see here, see the result. So for see the print for the area of rectangle is 15, and the area of rectangle is 21. Okay, this is the output. So here I'm used for the x, then now save and then reload, and here is perfectly remove this comma. Okay, so here is the perfect output. Now here I'm create the next example. Define for function with return values. So a function that takes return value function will add the two numbers and return the result. Okay, if you understand completely, so just I'm going for here and define the function name. Suppose like remove this calculate area insert for this add. So first of all, here I'm declare for the argument of a, and again define for b. Okay, and now here I'm just use for simply create use this is return statement for variable of a, and additional operator of a variable of b. Okay, if you completely understand, and I'm calling the function and using for the return value. So for example, just remove this code, and here insert. So first use the $, and then type the variable name is result, and use this add function, and answer for the value is 50. Okay, so just use for the 25, and also is 50. Okay, and just again use this result, and is equal to use this advanced shown announce insert for is 77 and is 33. Okay, so if you completely understand, now here use for the output functions insert for the echo, and here I'm print. So just type for here the sum of a number of a sum of number, and create this column, and defined for is a result. So you can see here defined is just is understand perfectly is a result 1, and this is one result of. Okay, as a perfectly understand, first define the result 1. Okay, and create here simply is be a tag is perfectly clean for the new line. Okay, so now I'm just again copy this code and paste for next line, and here I'm declare for the number of 2. Okay, so if you completely understand, and here first of all define a function for add, and that takes up two parameter, the two arguments for variable of a and b, and insert in this function used for the return the sum of variable of the argument of a and the argument of b, and then here call the function with a different set of arguments, and store the return value same variable or result 1 and the result. Okay, perfectly create a simple example. So here just save in this program, and let's run this code. Now just open in this browser, just simply reload. So as you can see here, see the result. First is the print with the sum of number is 75, and the sum of number for the result 2 variable, and here is 1 0. Okay, so if you completely understand, and here's the station completely done, and there's a quick overview of a function, argument, and return values in PHP. Okay, so I hope you perfectly understanding this concept. So thank you for watching, and happy coding.
And welcome back to our PHP programming journey. So today we are going to talk about further errors in PHP.
and specifically for use an associative array. And arrays are essential for storing multiple values in a single variable. Okay, so now let's dive into this example, and I hope you perfectly understand for how to work with this array. Okay, so first topic here explain here is an index array. Okay, so first let's explore the index array. So in this array are stored a sequence of values where a value is associated with the numeric index. Okay, so for example, here I'm used for the example inserted for the index array. Okay, so first of all, declare the array is the variable name. You can choose here is a approach. I'm declaring for this array, and in this insert some arrays are inserted. So first of all, use for the first name. So first apply the apple. Secondly, here I'm different for the another array is a banana, and then third here use for now just use here. You can see inserted this cherry. Okay, so if you understand, I'm perfectly create for the index array, and now the accessing of the elements of index array. So for example, just use for the code, and here I'm define first fruit. Okay, so you can see I'm find this first fruit and create clone, and here I'm use simply this dot notation, and here I'm declare this is a first and use for this index of 0, and now here completely create in this insert define this is a B tag. Okay, so if you perfectly understand, and here I'm just copy in this line and paste for here, and is the next line. So just change. So first apply a first word, and then secondly here I'm define for the second code, and I'm use the third code. Okay, you can see the perfectly inserted, and going in this insert just change for index is 1, and this one of index is okay. So except for again here in this example. So first of all define here the index array called here in this rows first. Okay, and with here the 3 elements for apple, banana, and cherry, and here is a says the print is element using is the numeric index. For 0 is apple, and 1 is for banana, and 2 for cherry. So it's completely created, and then here I'm saving this code, and then let me run this code. So just open this browser and just reveal it now perfectly. You can see the result. First is the print first fruit apple, second is banana, and third fruit for cherry. Okay, you can, if you understand, I'm already explained this example. Okay, so it's completely done. And next topic here define for associative array. So next look at the associative array. So associative arrays are use name as the key that's assigned to them instead of a numeric index 6. Okay, so first of all, create for here and row index loop. Okay, and first of all here create for the associative array. So declare for this is not correct. So use for the $, and type for the age is equal to inserted for in this array, and now instead declare for some element. First of all, find the name of Alice, and create the array of sign, and it's 25. Alice is ages 25. Insert for another name is a Bob, and Bob is age 30. And 30 I'm used for another name is for this Charlie, and the Charlie is age is 45. Okay, so if you understand, he is called the associative array, and now is testing for this element of associative array. So create for this equal, and just update and remove. So just type for L is, and first of all here define for simply create for the array name is age, and in this insert I'm declare for the name is of Alice, okay, if you understand. And now is for the dot notation and create for here in this insert. Just type for here's the years old, and then it's perfectly done. And here just copy in this line of code and remove this, and here press and again press. Now just change first create the name of Alice, and here I'm insert for another name of Bob. And thought here I'm used for is this is Charlie. Okay, she's a Charlie, so it's not correct. So this one is perfect. Okay, and just again change for inserted for the age, and here I'm also change the he's a Charlie, so you can see I perfectly define the Charlie. See age here is not correct, so LIE. Okay, so this is perfectly create here. So if you understand in this example, simplest first is create, associate array is called for in this ages. Okay, and with for the key for Alice, Bob, and Charlie, and is associated with a value is representing their age. And here I'm access and print is element using the key Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So now let's see the output. So just save in this code, and open again in this browser, and just related. You can see the result. Alice is 25 years old, Bob is 30 years old, and Charlie is 35 years old. Okay, here's a completely expected result. So now this is the tool tutorial. Here perfectly explore and cover for the index and associative array in PHP. Okay, so I be completely understanding this topic. So thank you for watching and happy coding. Hold on, come back to our P3 programming tutorial. So today we're going to explore for some powerful array function and operation in PHP. So arrays are fundamental in PHP, and these are many built-in functions that makes working with arrays easier and more efficient. Okay, so let's dive into this example and see these functions in actions. Okay, first of all, here I'm using for the array of persons, suppose like array post and pop. Okay, and now let's just get started. So first of all, I'm create here in this the PHP code format inside initialize an array. So for example, here I'm again use these rules. So if the perfectly just type FREYJS, you can see. And now here is installed some arrays. So first of all, here I'm use again is apple. Here installed for is so the some type is a completely is a banana, and then use for again for here is a query. Okay, so if you understand perfectly, and it's done. And now here I'm adding an element of array. So now I'm apply for here's the array. This is the push method. So array underscore, and insert is perfectly. This is a push method. Okay, so in this insert, first time I'm declare there is a first and inserted for the variable. So I'm insert for the variable name. Inserted for here is orange. Okay, so if you understand, and next tip here used for is completely this echo and green for the message, and the same type for here of after adding for is orange. Okay, and then here I'm just use for this phone, and then semicolon. Okay, so now I'm here use this is a print function. Just a type is a print underscore this a method, and into the inside I'm create for expression. First time I'm define the $sign of food, and now I'm use for again this echo and completely use it in this be tag. Okay, so if you understand, and here of course is a created for array name, the first containing and the apple, banana, and the cherry, and here I'm use is the array first at orange end of the array. Okay, so just verify this code. So simply here I'm saving this program or code, then let me run this code. So I'll open my browser and just reload now. Okay, so as you can see here, see the result. So after adding this orange for array 0, for in apple is 1, banana 2, at cherry 3, and orange is lastly is inserted for here. Okay, so I hope it completely understands, and here is not perfect, so just you can save, and then just let me run this code now. So either this is perfectly inserted here. Okay, so I understand. Okay, and this topic here is the remove the lost element from the array. Okay, so if you understand completely, and then I'm just going for again here and completely. So first of all use for another variable names, just type for here's lost, but okay, it's only the first is equal to, so just apply for here. You can see just type is array of method. Okay, and in this inside I'm declare for the array names. It looks like first. So now just bring the next line, and here I'm used for this equal, and get for the output message, just type for here is the after for removing the lost element. Okay, now create this parenthesis inside in this inside declare for is a lost of course. Okay, so if you understand this example, and then is for again simply just enter the printer there's a function method, and then declare here simply define is 0. Okay, so now just again use this echo, and this in this echo define for perfectly this is a be tag. Okay, so here this example here used for in this the array pop to remove the lost element from the array underscore 18 lost fruit. So now just here just again save in this code, and just let me run this code now. I just reload now, and you can see it's not perfect. Just save, and here then reload now, so it's perfect. So there's so there's the output will be here. So first the green, adding orange, and now removing the lost element for orange. If you can see here, if the array is a pure index for here index for 1, and 1 index for banana, and 2 index for cherry. So if you complete understanding. Okay, so now here I'm create for another operation define for here. Simply define this is using for here's the array merged. Okay, so now I'm used for the array merged. First of all initialized for the 2 array. Okay, so real for in this all of code. And first of all here used for the $, and the type for here is 1 is equal to, so just type for here again in this array, and in this insert create for the sum of color, just insert for some element. First time use the red, and the use for green, and also here used for the color itself is a blue. Okay, and now here inserted another array through is equal to, just type again insert for array, and in this insert create for so on for element. So now I'm applying the color is yellow, and secondly here create this is the purple. Okay, and third here used for the color name itself. So suppose it's called the orange. Okay, so if you understand, and here emerging for the array. So first of all use for the $, and then type for here is this is a merged array. Okay, so if you understand, and then here create for array in the index use this merge method, and in this insert define for array 1. Okay, so this time type the $, for array 1, and again use for this is the array of. Okay, so to understand completely, and here use this echo, and in this insert create simply merged array, and then going next step, and here I'm using this print. So this one print in this function create the expression. So just declare is a merged array. Okay, now here I'm using this echo, and then double quotation inside declare in this b tag. Okay, it's not correct, just going in this insert and find this b tag. Okay, so if you complete understanding, here I'm use the merge array. So just save in this code and simply just open this browser and reload to now. So as you can see the result is called the merged array. For here different, you can see it's not n. Now this time again reload. This is not perfect. So first the red is 1 index, green 2, and the value is 3, yellow 4. Sorry, here yellow is 3 and purple is 4, and the orange is 5. Okay, so I have a complete understanding in this output. So here is completely done. So I'm perfectly overview of some useful array functions and a person in PHP. Okay, so I have a complete understanding in this station. So thank you for watching and happy coding.
And welcome to our PHP programming journey. So today I'm going to explore some powerful string functions and regular expression in PHP. Okay, so string are fundamental part of programming, and PHP provides arrays of functions to manipulate them. And regular expression or EKs are the pattern used to match character combination and string. Okay, so now let's jump. Okay, first of all, here I'm using the string length or string purpose. So first just find the length and string using the string length, and how to relocate the substring, and creating for a string str. So I'm going for here. So now let's get started. So, and first of all, I'm using for the string length of this string. So for example, I'm using for the $, and then type for here, and simply just use the string is equal to just create the type for the message for hello. It's a PHP. Okay, so you can understand. And then going for the next step and insert for the another, at this time type here length is equal to, so here I'm used for this string length. You can see use the string length, and in this inside I'm declare for simply in this string. Okay, so it's done perfectly, and now here I'm used for the output function, for example echo, and type for the message. So here I'm just type the D lane. So the length of a string, you can see I'm create for the string, and single quotation and insert and define. So first of all, I'm used for the $, and to declare is this is string. Okay, and now here I'm used for is and create clone, and then I'm again used for the another string, just type for here is in this length. Okay, and now here I'm used for this is a b tag. Okay, so completely done, and is it create for the string length. Okay, so here's it perfectly, and now here I'm in this code. So here I'm used for the string length to get the length of the string. This is the hello PHP. Okay, so here I'm append this a paste and just related to now. As you can see here, see the length of the string for hello PHP is 11. Okay, so I will complete understand it, and next step here I'm create for another string using for string calls to find the position of a substring. So for example, just I'm create the pass string name this position, and is for the string this calls, and first of all here I'm create define for simply in this string, and then in this insert create for the double quote insert define in this PHP. Okay, and so now I'm create for another in this echo, and then create double quotation, and then type for here the message for the position. Okay, so the position of this insert define PHP in the string. Okay, so I hope you can understand for the string is, and here I'm declared for in this position for the substring. Okay, so here I'm create, it must be used this bear tag. Okay, so here is a complexity, and now here I'm used for the string first for the position defined for the string of the substring in the PHP within the string. Okay, so here is the done completely create, and now I'm just save in this program, and let me see the result or the output. So just I'm moving for in this browser, and just I'm reloading now. So as you can see the result for the position of PHP in the string is 7, because here this is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so I hope you understand completely. So again, this define 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, and 6, and here this PHP the second 7th position. Okay, so I hope you understand completely. So next is the topic here I'm create for using the regular expression with the pre-mat. Okay, so just I'm going for here inserted, so remove for in this string, and here I'm inserted for its email. Okay, so if you understand, I'm create the email, and here I'm insert for the sample email. Just type for here is example at the rate gmail.com, or here I'm used for this is a XY date and at the rate gmail.com, and now I'm used for here. So this I'm create here, you can see inserted is a pattern. Okay, so if you understand, and here I'm create this pattern, and first of all here I remove this and double click insert, I'm just copy for and paste now. Okay, if you understand, here is I'm not right because one is more time here uses, so it's simply just done, and now just remove this code. Okay, so simply I'm remove, and here I use for if statement, and kit for the conditions is just I'm used for is craze underscore is this method, and first of all I'm use the pattern. So just I'm going for use the $sign is a pattern, and the subject I'm used for simply just I'm use the email. Okay, if you understand, and then going for here, and now I'm create for the simple code. So use for the icon inside I'm create for. So just I'm type for in this the email address. Okay, so now I'm create for the email address single question inside I'm declare for in this email. Okay, and just I'm create valid. Okay, and now here I'm use is perfectly in this via tag. If you understand this, and here is again just I'm copy in this line of code, and here I'm just use this is a else condition, and just I'm paste for the this code, and is for the email address for or this email is. So here finds perfectly, so it's not valid. Okay, so just type for here is not valid. Okay, so if you understand, and here I'm used the active format to take if the email address matches the pattern. Okay, so now it's completely done, and here I'm saved in this code, and just open for in this browser, and now I'm just relating this page. So as you can see here, see the result for the email address is valid. Okay, so if you understand, it's called the using non-perfectly regular expression. Okay, so here is a completely done this topic. So that's it, and here I'm used for the some useful string function on regular expression in PHP. Okay, so I hope you complete understanding in this session. So thank you for watching, and welcome back to our today's programming journey. So today I'm going to explore how to create and process from using a part of the PHP. So from our software web development allowing users to submit data
and that we can handle on server side. Okay, so now here I'm creating for both the from simple contract from and processing. So processes submitted data using for the PHP. Okay, so now first of all just going for here and open for index.html. Okay, so just remove for in this code. So now insert a title use for the here's in context. So system type is a context from. Okay, so if you understand that right here I'm insert for the title history clear. And now I'm going for here is the body tag insert. I'm simply here I'm inserted is a from. So you can see I'm inserted this prompt tag, and I'm here create for the prompt is not accept is actions. Okay, if you understand. And now here I'm use for, so for example for a link up for the PHP file. So here I'm use this is a main dot php. Okay, see if you understand completely. And here I'm using simply for the method use this is a post. Okay, see if you understand. And now in this inside I'm different for simply is a name element and is for the perfectly say input. So using input you can see input here. For the type is a text. Okay, and is for the name is a name. Okay, and now it's done. And here I'm create for is completely use the be tag. Okay, so it's done. And now just copy in this line and paste for the next line. And here I'm used for the is the email. So just I'm going for here insert for that the element for email, and is type for simply is a email, and the name of in use if this is of email. Okay, so if you understand. And like here I'm used for another input file. So it's just type for input and say submit. Okay, if you understand, click for the submit button, and now use for the name. And here I'm insert for it is a value. Okay, so if you understand, and just remove this and wait for in this insert a value for I'm forced to use the capital word and then type for the submit. If you understand, here is completely create for HTML code, and just wait for here is the main.php insert, and here I'm create for PHP processing used for in this line. So in this prompt, so first of all here I'm create this statement insert. I'm create for the condition. So just I'm going for, and here I'm just type is a same $sign underscore used for this server. Okay, and you prefer the variable name. So just here I'm in this is it create a double quotation, and here I'm use simply is a request. So it's not, it's just I'm going and create perfectly is for drop request underscore is this method. Okay, and here I'm used for is a double equal to, and insert I'm define this is a post. Okay, and so create here in this insert color bracket. So just type for here different for the variable of name. Okay, different for name is equal to, see here I'm used for the HTML special character. So this one, and then I'm inserted for this string. First of all here I'm used for the $sign, and then type for here use the post method, and in this insert variable name, the post here is a name. Okay, and it's perfect here. I'm just copy in this code, and it takes for next line, and just change, and here I'm insert simply is email, and then going for again change for the variable is the email. Okay, so I understand this. And next step here I'm used for the echo. So just going and then type simply use this echo message. So now declare, so first declare is a name variable, and use for here is a dot notation, and declare is the name, and again use this, and now I'm create here is a depend perfectly in this build tag. Okay, so now just create green key here and copy in this code and paste for the next line and change. So another element sorted for is email, so just unpacking the type email and again use here and change this name and sorted for in this email. Okay, so it's completely create. So in this code, first of all, I'm going for here in this HTML code and just I'm explain. So in this HTML prompt with the two input fields name and email with a submit button, as from data is sent to the main.php using for the error cursor. Okay, and here is the PHP code inside I use for the HTML special character is sanitize the input data and display the submitted name and the email, and the output will display the submitted name and email. Okay, so first of all, I'm just save in this code, and you can save for here in this paste. Just open for this browser and I'll just reload now. As so you can see it's not show. So here I'm just copy in this file path. Okay, just going for here, open this browser, remove this, and I can paste. So here I'm changed for this. So here I'm just type simply script for here is local host and press for enter. You can see here publicly see the result. You see the rename field here. I'm used for name is a Jenny, and here I'm used for the email for address. So just type for is a Jenny at the rate for gmail.com. Okay, I press for the here is a submit button, and it is completely working for this here, even here name for Jenny and email for Jenny at gmail.com. Okay, I hope you perfect understanding. And just completely working for the email with the process. Okay, so here in this stage is completely done, and here I'm perfectly apply and creating and processing from PHP. Okay, so I hope you perfectly understanding in the station. So now just thank you for watching and happy coding. Well, and we'll come back to our PHP programming tutorial journey. So today I'm going to explore for how to validate and sanitize user input using for PHP. So validating and sanitizing input is the role for maintaining the security and integrity for your web applications. Okay, so now let's get started. So first of all, here I'm using for the validating and sanitizing a name in. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, and just I'm going for here is HTML inside. First of all, here I'm create for this from just apply for here is a method for post, and simply here is a name. Okay, and kit clone, and first of all use for this is the input. So this is the input file. Just create here to just type for here simply different for the text and name for here. This is a name, and also for here I'm created this is a record for. So just here use this is a B tag. Okay, so if you understand, and then use here's another input just instant, and here I'm inserted for this is a just label and inserted publicly is a value is equal to perfectly here I'm used in the submit. So just I'm used for the capital word. Okay, so if you understand, here's a completely create for validate and sanitize for the name. Okay, so here's perfectly done, and now I'm going for here in this PHP inside. So now I'm here as a create for process it profile. Okay, so first of all here I'm used for as a statement create for the condition. For some type is the $sign and rate, and then just type is a server, and declare for here is not a variable. So double click inside create for
this is a request. So you can see the request made for. You can see declare a request method and then double equal to and then type for here is a call the post. Okay, so I'm going for in this incident kit for the code. First of all, here I'm define this is name. Okay, and is equal to here I'm used for is a team method, and this insert I'm create for again used for the $, and underscore grade is simply just type for here's mostly. Okay, and different for the variable name, just like here is the name. Okay, and now I'm going for the next line, and here I'm again declare this is a name variable is equal to. So here I'm just use for this string. So ts plus this method, and in this insert I'm define for the string for this name. Okay, and now here I'm apply for another name variable and is equal to. So here I'm just start. This is HTML special characters to define for the string is a name. Okay, so here is a completed create, and now here I'm used for another if statement. So for example, is for the if condition create for the condition is used for, and this is a big for is for is a match, and define for the patterns here. Okay, so suppose like here I'm used for the double quotation inside I'm create for this is a rate of wide, then so use this. Okay, is 1, and then create for this square bracket inside I'm define for is a what if a then dash for a and j, then so you can see so z and a, and lastly here I'm again different for j, and also here I'm create the multiplication sign and dollar sign, and then you can just divide. Okay, if you understand, I'm create here and I'm define for the subject name is a. So it's just like here I'm define is a name. Okay, so if you understand, it's completely and in this insert I'm create for the sum code. So first of all, here I'm used for the equal and print for the message. So just type is only letters. You can see I'm different for the letters, and so just type perfectly white space allowed. Okay, you can see I'm just type allowed in the name. It's called here the publicly, and then here I'm simply for this bit tag. Okay, and then here I'm used for this is user perfectly else statement, and in this insert I'm create for is another output message. Suppose like here I'm creating is a valid name, and create clone, and then use for the dot, and declare for here is a name variable dot again, and now inserted for here is publicly in this bit tag. Okay, so if you understand completely, and here is publicly used for this example, and now just save in this code, and then again for save this code, and now just I'm copying this file path. Okay, and just depend in this browser. So it's just remove this again, paste as. So here I'm just change for jam add stdoc, and insert here is a declare and write clarified. Okay, if you understand, it is only print for the name. So now insert for the name is Johan, and paste for the enter. So you can see here is a create. So now just remove, and you can see the valid name for Johan. Okay, so I understand, and now this time again for that you can see it's a resend. So if you understand perfectly, and here's a create for input field, and here I'm apply for completely use for is called the input field, and inserted for the name validate and the sanitize for this name. I hope you complete understanding in this topic, and here I'm perfectly use for this input of the name. Okay, so here this session is completely done, and here's a quick overview of the validating and sanitizing user input in PHP. Okay, so here I completely covered for this is the valid of name. Okay, and used for the built-in PHP function. Okay, so perfect validation and sanitization are essential for maintaining the security and readability of your applications. Okay, so thank you for watching to today our programming journey. Today I'm going to explore the superglobal in PHP. So superglobal are built-in variable in PHP that are always accessible regardless of the scope. So let's step into the example understanding for how this works. So here is a get and state and server, and also for is a superglobal example. So it is FM simply is shortly defined for use the superglobal for gate. Is superglobal which is used to collect data, same for URL for parameters. Okay, this I'm going for here. First of all, I'm going for the simple from and apply for here's a gate is a mode superglobal. So just I'm going for here insert already created the basic format, and in this instance I'm defined for again is this is a name 30, and is for is a this is a input. It's not, so just going. Okay, so here I'm just type simply input, and now so it's not correct. So first of all here I'm use this is input, and first type this is a text, and here use for the name is again for the name. Okay, so here I've defined is be a tag is code for clean. Okay, so the done, and now here I'm used for another element defined for the age. Okay, and again used for this input field, and so type is text and name is as. Okay, and now again inserted is convince peer tag, and now here I'm used for this is another input field, and first of all here I'm type this is a submit, so you can see, and then so here I'm used for the value is a submit. Okay, so if you understand, and here I'm completely used for the submit. So now it's done for the PHP for its table code, and now I'm going for here is a PHP code inside, and first of all here I'm defined for is a $sign declare this is the name variable used to perfectly. So here I'm used for this is the HTML special characters used for the string name. So now I'm apply for $sign used for here is a get method, and find for variable is a name. Okay, and now here I'm used for another variable name, suppose like the age, and again used for the HTML used for the special characters. So just define for here again use this get method, and then use for this square brackets inside define for here is a variable. Okay, so here's a completely done, and now just apply for this is equal, and just type for equal and define declare is the name variable, and now here I'm use the define this name and use for completely use in this the be a tag. Okay, so if you understand, and then I'm just copying this line and just for station this time just paste the next line and just change and just declare this is age variable, and again inserted this is the age. Okay, so if you understand, and first of all here apply is a table from the get method to send data, and there's a main.php inside else for the get is a superglobal grid type the data for the URL, and the sanitary input using for the HTML special characters prevent for excesses attacker tags. Okay, now just I'm save in this code and show the output. So just I'm save again, and then going for and save this HTML code, and now just I'm copying this file path and open for my browser, and just remove and paste and change for. So now here I'll remove for in this sp doc, and just type for here is called the local. Okay, so just press, and you can see here's the insert for the name. And so here I'm used for the name is Charlie, and the age is insert for 25 and press for input button. So you can see here is only defined declare for the name, and it's not complete for in this code. So here in this the error. Okay, so it simply create this name, and next year used for the apply for the post superglobal. So this I'm going for, and is to collect data sent for the HTTP post. Okay, so first I'm going in this inside, and now here I'm inserted for is the username. So user name and input for the page, and define this is a username, and here I'm insert for this is a password. Okay, you can see insert for the password, and it's an input for this the password. Let's see, and then again change for this is, and here I'm inserted this password. Okay, so if you understand, and it's completely done, and here I'm apply for is a post method for in this prompt. Okay, so now I'm just saving this code, and then going for is a PHP code inside. Okay, so if you understand for this code, and now here I'm used for is a post method. So first I'm the apply for the post. So for example, so some define this is the username and HTML is special character, and you for this head and use for underscore, and just type for here. Use this post method and insert for the variable. So remove for this, and here I'm use for variable name. So suppose is the username. Okay, and is change is declare is a password. Okay, so if you understand, insert for the password HTML special character and remove for, so just remove for all of. So first of all, here I'm used for this, then type for here is simply post method, and now define for this is not correct. So $sign underscore here I'm apply this is the post method, and insert for the variable names is supposed to like use here in this password. Okay, so if you understand, and just change here, inserted this is the username, and then again you use just remove this $sign, and then type for the username, and just I'm going for again here and insert for password. So you can see the perfectly done, and remove for is age and inserted for here. This is the password. Okay, so you can understand here I'm applied perfectly. Here I'm created for this HTML table from the user to post the same data. Okay, so just I'm going for here and save in this code, and simply apply for in this post. Now just again save, and here just copy for in this file path, and again open this browser, and just remove and paste for here, and use remove for XAMPP and htdocs, and here I'm inserted this perfectly tagged, and there's a localhost. Okay, if you understand, inserted for the username. So just I'm used for the username Smith, and password is inserted for here, and then password submit button. You can see here is perfectly see the result for the say password is the name is Smith, and password you can see here is the show password, and here the save or not now. Okay, I'm not saving this order and press for not. Okay, so you can here see the perfectly working for this output. Okay, so here in the station completely done, and here I perfectly use for superglobal in PHP and cover how to use to get to retrieve your parameter and post to collect from this data. Okay, so I've been enjoying this session. So now thank you for watching.
Come back to our just another important topic. So today I'm discussing for here the two important topic for PHP and the superglobal variable, like the get method and the post method. And this variable allows us to transmit data between web page, and we've been working strictly in different way. So first of all, here I'm creating for is a get method. So here I'm first is going the HTML code inside and HTML prompt,
the code for the user input, and when the prompt is submitted, and the data is sent to the server using for the get method. Okay, so first of all, here it creates for the HTML from which the get method. Simply here I'm changed for this method and inserted it's a code. Okay, and is for this PHP file. And in this insert, first of all, I'm defined this is a level. Okay, so if you understand, I'm here for the level. So level insert, I'm defined here is a for, and there's a equal to. Here for a double quotation insert, I'm defined for the name. Okay, and so first of all, I'm just remove here and not now here is inserted. Just going for here and declare this is the for. And this is the name, and in this insert, I'm again declare is a name variable. Okay, and now I'm going forward. Here is a create. Simply define this is a input field, and then a false time type is text. Okay, and name for. So first of all, here's a type is a text, and define for the ID is a name, and the name for here is a name. Okay, if you understand. And then here I'm create for simply just declare here is a build tag, and then again use for here it's called the via tag, and then here I'm apply for simply I'm just type for is you can see I'm type here the button tag. If you understand, create for completely there's a button, if you understand. And first of all, here I'm create for the button type is submit, and in another here I'm used for again use this submit button. Okay, if you understand, it is a completely correct for is a HTML code. Now I'm just going for here in the PHP code I'm it, and here I'm create the PHP script to create process from data. Okay, so first of all, I'm going for here and it is for, so simply I'm used for this if statement, and in this insert I'm created for this is state this method and find for the variable. Here I'm used for the $, and declare this is a get method, and different for the variable is a name. Okay, and so just going for in this insert I'm different for the code. So first of all, I'm define the name variable and use for the first of all I'm type for the $, and apply for the get method, and get defined for here's a name of the column. Okay, and so now here I'm use echo as print for this thing, and for example the same type for the hello and declare for in this name of the string. Okay, so here is completely creating this code, and here I'm perfectly used for this example, and here so now just save in this code. So and when in this form is submitted and the data appending to the URL as a query parameter, and make it easy to retrieve the data using for is a get method in this variable of PHP. Okay, now this time variable, first of all I'm save in this code, and just going for again here and save this code. Okay, now just I'm copying this HTML file and open this browser, and just I'm remove and here I'm paste for this, and just change for here XAMPP html dot here is a localhost. Okay, and I'm press for enter. So you can see here the print for the prompting. So now I'm insert for the name is just type for the name is Sarah, and press for enter. So you can see here print for the message is hello Sarah. Okay, so I will completely understand is work for the get method. Okay, so now here I'm creating for is another method, just like for the post method. Unlike here is a get array, and get is a paint data to the URL for the post printed data through the HTTP request body, and makes it more secure for transmitting for the sensitive information like password. Okay, so here I'm searching for the password, so just remember here, and for change for this get and search for here is a post method, and get for the label just like for here is a password, and again inserted here is called the password. Okay, so I understand, and then in this password text just copy and input field insert and file for the type is password, and add for the password for add a name for also this is the password. Okay, and here I'm just use for the bear tag, which can be is perfect. Okay, and then just apply again. Okay, so you can see here is a perfectly inserted and get the submit button. Okay, here is completely it's done for HTML code. Now I'm going for here's a PHP code inside. Just remove this. So first of all, apply is a password. So remove for the name, and here I'm insert the password, and again just change. So here I'm insert for perfectly the password. Also here again use this password, and I'm used for the post method. Okay, so it's just type for here's a perfectly it's called the post, and then again inserted is a post method. So if you understand perfectly, and then going for here and going for the message, for example, just type for here. So you can see I'm just type for here as password. Okay, and so your password is, and now change for this name, and RAM is sorted for this password. Okay, if you understand, and I perfectly used this example from the data is sent the post method retrieve for using the post variable in PHP, and this method gives sensitive information hidden from the URL. So now I'm saved in this code, and again save for the HTML code, and now just copy for in this file path, and again open this browser and just remove and paste for this URL, and now I'm changed for this location, and here I'm inserted this is a localhost. Okay, so if you understand, press for the enter. Again you can see there's the result inside for the password, and also use for the password, and just right now just type press for the enter. So you can see here see the result for it's now inserted for the username, and here is a C height perfectly for the password. You can choose for the show, and here the perfectly done, and I'm not save and just I'm press for not now. Okay, so if you understand, here I'm set for in this password completely used for the get method and post method. The summary for get and post methods are essential tools for transmitting data between web page and PHP. Okay, so the get method is suitable for non-sensitive information, while post method is preferable for sensible data. Okay, so I've been understanding this whole session. So thank you for watching, and welcome to today's tutorial in PHP programming journey. So today I'm explaining for the world of handling files upload securely using for the PHP programming language. Okay, ensuring the security uploads and prevent any vulnerability to malicious for attack on your application. So now let's start understanding the importance of secure file upload. Okay, so when you user for upload the files to your website and open up the possibility for attackers to inject for malicious file or script and composing for your system integrally, and therefore it's essential to implement global security measure, validate and sanitize upload file before they are stored or processed. Okay, so in this topic I'm created for the example and perfectly done explain perfectly for your file is perfectly enhanced the security of a file upload process by adding file type and size validations perfectly. Okay, so in just I'm going for this code instead. I'm just perfectly create this code. First of all, here I'm used for the $, and then create for the variable name is allowed types. Okay, so if you understand this variable and is equal to, here I'm used for the square bracket. So now I'm used for image format.
So that, for example, I'm just type for image and is a JPEG file. Okay, so JPEG, and here I'm using for another file for image. So it's inserted is a create for image is a PNG file. Okay, so if you understand, now create this clone, and then here I'm using for another variable next is maximum file size. Okay, it is equal to, so first I'm used for this expression 5, and multiplication sign for is 1024 pixel, and again used for 1024. Okay, so file, the 5 MB for this pixel is created, and right here used for if statement, and in this insert I'm create for the condition for in underscore this arrow is the post. So post is a dollar sign, and then insert it did for in this files. Okay, and define for the variable name. So suppose example the file as is for here is another variable. So I'm inserted here is another square bracket. So in this insert I'm define this is a type. Okay, and right here I'm used for is another variable. Just I'm define for the first variable is declare is a L of types. Okay, and then now here I'm used for perfectly just apply is and operator, and create for underscore this is you can see the files, and then first time create for here is simply remove for this variable, create the variable is a file. Okay, and now here I'm create for another square bracket. So in this inside I'm define for this is a size. Okay, so just simply is zoom out. Okay, so you can see inserted for the file size, and then here I'm used for is less than equal to, and then find for another variable name. Here is the maximum file size. Okay, so if you understand, and here I'm find is the maximum file size. Okay. And now they're going for in this insert I'm create for simple of the code. Just I'm going for here, and first of all I'm creating now right now define for another variable is upload to. Okay, so I upload direction as the equal to single condition inside find for is upload. Okay, so you can see now I'm right, and then it's perfect. And here I'm used for the another, so just I'm again used this upload. So now I'm create for upload file. Okay, if you understand, create the upload file, and I'm define for here is simply just upload here dot use for here is a base name. Okay, so you can see base name first time defined by the path name is a dollar sign for this file, and here I'm used for perfectly just declare the square brackets and define first time declare is a file. Okay, and now I am defined for another variable, so just declare is a name. Okay, and I'm create the semicolon. Okay, this is done, and now here I'm used for another if statement and create false the condition. So just I'm type for here is remove underscore uploaded file. So file name I'm defined for is a dollar sign underscore files, and create for simply just define the square brackets. So this insert I'm declare for here is not double condition, simply create the single condition, define this is a file. And now here another use this is square bracket. In this insert I'm declare for here's a temporary TMP temporary name. Okay, and so now I'm create for the destination, just use perfectly here dollar signs, and here is uploaded file. Okay, so if you understand, here is inserted create for is a message for, so just type for simply is a create for file is valid, and just was for successfully upload it. Okay, so can see perfectly understand that here I'm create this new line and going for an next step. In here I'm create simply this else statement, and in this insert I'm create for other this echo and create for another message. Just I'm type for here is the possible file for upload. This is a tag. Okay, so if you understand, create here is a new line. So and notice here use for is a capital for what's for P, and here use this is M. Okay, if you understand, I create completely. And now here this is I'm just going for this line, and here I'm used for this another else statement and create this curly bracket. So here I'm used for another clue and create for the message first, like over here is invalid for file type or size. Okay, so if you understand, here I'm completely create in my code. Okay, so here I'm just now again take this, and here I'm used for simply define for edit an array, creating the file types in case as JPEG and PNG, and a variable for here is a max file size to define here is a maximum L, the file size for here is the file name, and then take for uploaded files type and size meet our specified criteria between proceeding and upload for this process. Okay, so here is completely creating this code is perfectly done, and now just I'm saving this code and just copy in this code file path and open this browser, and just remove this and here paste for this code this URL, and here I'm insert is a perfectly is a localhost. Okay, is a perfectly is a URL, and now just press enter, and here's a create this accessing the arrays of state and defined for this key file, because here is randomly used for this file, because here is create this process and define for its use is this for here is a completely used for this file security and updated and handling for file this securely using for this PHP program. Just simple use this code you can use for your main project inside and perfectly work this code. Okay, so I hope you enjoy in this session. So thank you for watching and happy coding. Hello, then we'll come back to our today's another topic. So today I'm setting up a MySQL database using for the PHP program language. Okay, so in this video I'm working through the process for step by step and provide you right, for example, and help you perfectly understand the concept is better. So first is just going for is ensure for. So first ensure for is a tab is perfectly open. So you can see here is Apache is running and MySQL, and press for just an admin and just press and open for my admin. Okay, so now just going open this local post for is my admin panel, and here I'm just setting up MySQL data. Okay, so you can see first of all create is a new just place, and you can see is a new database and is SQL data is generated here and status and is import and export, and once more option here is available now. So first of all create here the database name, insert for here. So you can see just type for here is just some type is information. Okay, and is the information for my database name, and now paste for is create for. You can see this is option for, and here database name is information and create for in this database. Okay, so just wait, you can see here's a completely create in this database. Okay, so if you understand here insert for the column, and now you can see here is open for the create a new table, and the question for is create for your table name, and for insert you can choose for on more columns you can press for this icon is decrement and his increment. So now I'm insert for the default. So now I'm insert for here is a table name. Suppose like so employee. So if you understand, I'm create for is employee. So it's a table name is an employee, and then just press for in this create button. So if you understand and you are just watching here, and just is open for is a 4 column is a first 1, 2. So it's a first 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you understand, this is a name, type, and length for the values and default, collection, attribute, null, index, and comments. Okay. So you can see here is a perfectly create. And first of all, here I'm inserted for the simple example for the ID. So ID is an integer type. So you can see, so is an integer, and then going for here is index inside, and it's a primary key because in this ID is always inserted for is a primary key. Okay. So if you understand, and then I'm create here is a employee for first name. Okay. So if our ist first name, so first name is a worker. So you can see I'm inserted for the worker, and also here I'm inserted for is a last underscore name, and it's a both for here is a worker. And next of all, here I'm create for another column name, just type for here. You can see the salary. So salary is decimal plotting. So just insert for here is a decimal. And you can see is completely created for only one column. It's used for the primary key. Okay. So if you understand, and here you can see again it's a table name for employee, and here I'm inserted for the 4 columns. First is ID, first name, last name, and salary. Okay. So if you understand, here I'm already inserted all documents, and here I'm pressed for the save one. So you can see, please enter a valid length. Yes, you can see insert for the, okay, see now I'm insert for the left is 255, and again here is 255. Okay. And now inserted for the decimal is 10. Okay. 10 and 2. So you can see, and just press enter. So just wait here, and as we can see, here's a C for the table, and you can see your created for the perfect table. You can see first is the print for the ID is integer type, and first name is worker, and left is 255, and here's a last name is worker is 250. Your salary is created the decimal type. If you understand, here is a complete setting for MySQL database in PHP. Okay. So if you understand, and here I'm create for the new code, new table for is employee. So database and for name for information. So I hope you completely understanding, and here is completely done. And there you have it. You have perfectly learned for how to set up a MySQL database using for the PHP programming language, and cover for establishing a collection and performing in this query. So I hope you understand in this session. So now just thank you for watching.